Can you imagine the day you are going to die? I don't think that is a question most of us will consider as we live life and go through our routines. I am sure it is something that my mother didn't think of either, much less my niece or nephews. My mother, my niece, and 2 nephews were killed on November 18, 2012. It was a beautiful, cold Sunday afternoon in rural North Dakota where you could sit by the fireplace and drink hot chocolate or be more adventurous and sled the big snowy hills. It was a choice of an individual to enter my parents' home, to point a rifle at my family members, and to kill them. I know that day of someone else's choices will be forever imprinted on my heart and my soul. Grief is something that we all have to contend with at some point in our lives, and those sorrows can be a burden. I have learned that if I do not deal with the trauma that has been dealt to me, it will swallow me up whole, and I will be lost in a sea of despair. I understand now that grief is the heart's response to my deep loss and the sorrow I still feel today. I have asked for guidance, and I've even asked God, why did this happen? When He doesn't answer the way I want Him to, I then say, it's so unfair. It's so unfair that my family is no longer here. So how do I deal with my pain and sorrow? At first, I didn't want to deal with it. After the funerals, I worked, kept up with schoolwork, and continued to work on my house. Anything to keep my hands busy and to keep my mind from thinking. However, at the end of the day, my heart would scream out at me, remembering my losses. The searing pain and sorrow crushed my soul. I had to find peace and take that journey of pain. I had to unnumb myself and deal with the fact that life has its injustices. I could no longer dwell on the statement that my mind would yell, "It's not fair." It was when I read a book that was given to me by a coworker, When People Grieve by Paula D'Arcy, that I finally started understanding that the feelings of sorrow I have been and still experiencing is normal. The other feelings I have experienced are normal too. It was like an epiphany, a light bulb that went on, a moment of clarity where my feelings were clear and understandable to me. I understand that how I reacted when I learned of my family's deaths and how shocked I was is normal. My body locking up and feeling spasms as I felt a part of my heart die and shrivel up is normal. That being in denial and telling myself it's so unfair, I can't accept this, is normal. Now I realize it's not about being unfair. Instead, it's fair to accept that God knows and I know that the reality is this won't go away, and I have to accept this in order to move forward. I understand that there is a fear of change and that moving forward might mean that I will forget about my family. I won't. I understand that the anger I had at the person who stole my family lives, at God, at life, and even at other people whose families were intact is normal. I understand that stating it's so unfair that I'm angry is normal. Now I understand that the inner storm, the hurricane or tornado that circled within truly mirrored my feelings. Life dealt me a blow and I couldn't find a reason or logic to soothe my soul. I tried to remember that anger equals pain and instead embrace that emotion. It's fair to know that it's okay to feel, no matter how raw those feelings can get. I understand that as I bargained with God and asked Him to take this back is normal. I said to Him, please God, it's so unfair. They didn't deserve this act of cruelty. Now I understand that there is no bargaining of lives once they are taken. This is a reality, and I had to let this need go. I had to let go in order to start the healing process. I understand that there is no hindsight or a crystal ball that will tell me that this would have happened. The what-ifs no longer apply here. I understand that this will be a continued struggle for me. However, it is fair to say that telling my story is part of accepting of what happened just 4 months ago. I understand that the sadness I feel every day is normal. I tell myself, it's so unfair that I feel so sad. I am sad I no longer have my family is normal. I now understand that my body is weeping and trying to heal. It's not an easy experience when your life feels empty. It's not easy to understand that hugging your own mother will never happen again as your arms will be empty. I understand that it's not fair that my life is empty, and I accept that. It is fair to say that I can remember the memories of my loved ones that can fill the emptiness like a sunshine-filled sky. It will nourish my heart and soul. The hardest part of dealing with sorrow is total acceptance. There are many times when I say out loud, "It's so unfair that my family is gone. It's unfair that the world doesn't know who my mom is and what an impact she has made in my life." I understand that this is normal, but getting to that point in my life is something that I have yet to achieve. I now understand that I can accept parts of what has happened. Acceptance is similar to a marathon in that I can only run 1 mile at a time. Each mile I run is a milestone in itself as I try to heal from this tragedy. To me, acceptance is trying to live each day without my loved ones, but never forgetting who they are, their impact on my life, nor their love. Acceptance is realizing they will never come back, but I can make what I do here and now count. Acceptance to me is a tribute to what we had meant to each other, always and forever.